The Apostle Peter wrote to local churches that each of them was a part of a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. 1 Peter 2:9. Paul told the members of the church in Ephesus to be speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. He wanted them to sing and make music from your heart to the Lord, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Ephesians 5:19 and 20. Though maybe misunderstood, regularly a bone of contention, and often under-practiced, congregational singing is one of the greatest and most beautiful tools we have been given to declare God's excellencies, strengthening his church, and sharing his glory with the world. The New Testament implies that our singing is important. It's been said that Christians are a singing people, but often many of us are more of a mouthing along with the words kind of people. This book is about singing together as the church in a way that impacts all of your life. It is a conversation for the whole church, including you, whether your singing voice is a close friend to you or more of an awkward stranger. It explores something that is part of the worship life of every follower of Christ. There are many books helping us to grow and train in our Bible study and prayer and acts of service and evangelism, but not very many helping us to sing. Yet our singing deserves similar care and is even, as we'll see, tied to the flourishing of these other things in our lives. How did the congregation sing? Each of us is part of the answer to that in our own church, whether we are on stage or standing by our seat on the main floor. It's a harder and in some ways less comfortable question than all the other ones people tend to ask about the music in church. Yet Paul does not tell us to perform for one another, but to sing to one another. We need to ask, how did the congregation sing? Luther the singer. 500 years ago, in the autumn of 1517, a German monk named Martin Luther began what became known as the Reformation of the Church through the preaching and the singing of the Word. You might understandably think of Luther primarily as a theologian or preacher, but he was also a focused and prolific hymn writer who reinvigorated singing in what became known as the Protestant Church. How the congregation sang was a key question for Luther. He believed that a truly biblical church would be one where every believer was actively participating in every part of the service, including the singing, celebrating this incredible gospel together. Let God speak directly to his people through the scriptures, and let his people respond with grateful songs of praise. Many of Luther's enemies feared his hymns more than the man himself. Singing was the heart of the Reformation. Indeed, such was the conviction of the man who was in some ways Luther's predecessor, the Bohemian Jan Hus, that he was martyred for, amongst other things, speaking the heresy of congregational singing. Luther was passionate and serious about the art and practice of music and congregational singing, a passion that today in many churches has arguably lost its focus. The theologian Ligon Duncan has said there is no part of the worship life more in need of reformation today than congregational singing. But this reformation will not come by simply telling people to sing, any more than telling a child to eat something they don't like makes much difference for very long. We need not only to know what we ought to sing as Christians, but to learn to love to sing as Christians. The 5 goals of this book. This book has been years in the making, partly due to a promise we made to a good friend that I wouldn't write a book until I passed my 40th birthday. Grown from our passion for congregational singing, it's been formed in our travelling and playing and listening and discussing and learning and teaching. And in writing it, we have 5 key aims. Number 1, to discover why we sing and the overwhelming joy and holy privilege that comes with singing. Number 2, to consider how singing impacts our hearts and minds and all of our lives. Number 3, to cultivate a culture of family singing in our daily home life. Number 4, to equip our churches for wholeheartedly singing to the Lord and one another as an expression of unity. Number 5, to inspire us to see congregational singing as a radical witness to the world. We have also added a few bonus tracks at the end with some more practical suggestions for different groups who are more deeply involved with church singing. But just before we start, a health warning. We want to be practical, but not prescriptive. We realize, and it is worth you realizing, that we are all limited by our own experiences. It is easy to assume that what we are used to, or what we most enjoy, is what God is most pleased by. Of course, there are principles that transcend styles, but we naturally bring our own personality and bias to such an emotional subject as Christian singing. Yet in congregational singing, there is no one-style-fits-all template. We love singing at our home church in our community in Nashville. The village chapel uses acoustic instruments almost hidden in the corner of the room to accompany beautiful singing of 300 to 400 on a Sunday, which often drops to a cappella and rich harmony. And we also love
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.